Daring Abroad, brought to you in partnership with Bank Diaspora Banking. Banking just like home.
Hello and welcome. Today we're still camped in the United States. Glad to have you with us. But before we get things started, here is what we have in store.
So I can take you places.
He went to the USA on a sports scholarship and now runs his own successful trucking business.
So we do logistics, we do shipping.
Butler Omucheyi shares his journey abroad and how he's investing back home through Cooperative Bank of Kenya.
I can transfer money to Kenya and I can transfer money back from Kenya to the US seamlessly. They also have investment tools that you can use for loans.
Also on the show, Kenya Airways increases frequency on Nairobi-New York route as peak season kicks in.
Butler Omucheyi is living a life that many people dream of when thinking about relocating to America. Butler is in the business of transporting goods on trucks. In the US, this business is commonly known as trucking.
My company is called Bay to Bay Freight of Maryland. So we transport goods and services across the Northeast of the United States, Midwest and Southeast. And we mostly transport farm equipment coming from Japan, and we send them to different farms across the country. So we do logistics, we do shipping. Apart from transporting these tractors and farm equipment, we also help other smaller companies to get these tractors to transport.
So who is your typical client?
It's called Kubota. It's a Japanese tractor and farm equipment manufacturer. So they bring this equipment to the port here in Baltimore, and we pick them from the port and then we send them to the customers.
Well done.
Yes,
Well done.
and they are mostly small equipment shops. I have 4 trucks, semi-trucks, that's what they call them. And then I have 5 trailers. So we load up the trailers from the port directly from the ship, and then we send them out. I have 4 drivers that I manage.
This is Butler's 11th year in operation, a great achievement given that starting a business in the United States is no walk in the park.
When I started doing my own business, I didn't just start full scale. I was doing part-time with 1 truck, with 1 employee.
There is also the issue of adhering to the rules and regulations.
In trucking, we have a lot of compliance, especially safety. The trucks have to be in good working condition because we move more than 45,000 pounds. So if the truck is not in good condition, they can kill people on the highways. So the tires, the lights, the brakes, the maintenance has to be on point. Insurance, we will not be allowed to run any laws without insurance.
Tax compliance.
Yes, we pay taxes, we pay highway tax, we pay fuel tax. We have compliance with our drivers with the alcohol and drug compliances so that our drivers must be sober, no drugs, no drug use, no alcohol. Drivers have to comply with our hours of service. They cannot be driving the whole day.
At this point, you may be wondering, just how did Butler get his start in the land of opportunity? Well, he literally kicked his way in.
So I was playing soccer, football, the way we call it in Kenya. I was playing football for Western Steam and Kakamega. So when I came here, I automatically got a soccer scholarship. So that helped me for the 4 years in college to sustain me. And apart from that, the scholarship, they were giving us some stipends and pocket money. That helped me to land my feet in this area.
You had come to visit or?
No, I just came as a student.
Okay.
Yeah, F1 student. I applied, University of DC. They accepted me, I came. I went to trials for soccer, and the coach liked me, and that was the beginning of the story.
Having gotten his foot in the door, Butler took full advantage, graduating with a bachelor's in accounting, followed by an MBA in the same.
I joined the corporate America. I started doing accounting. I became an accounting manager. I became a controller. I worked for some of the biggest companies in the United States. I worked for Lockheed Martin, which is defense contractor, for about 8 years, I think. And then I decided, no, I want to start something for myself.
Yes, Butler quit employment in 2012 to start his own business, with his experience during employment coming in handy.
So you know how to manage finances, you know how to manage people, you know how to work with people, you know how to negotiate, you know how to budget, how to work with money, how to work with people, transactions, yeah, running financial statements.
But this does not mean that all has been smooth for Butler.
The challenge is insurance is too expensive. Maintaining drivers, keeping drivers maintained, the drivers how to pick up and deliver on time. So I make sure that the customer is happy. If you're supposed to deliver anything, has to be delivered on time.
There is also the challenge of driver shortage.
Driving a highway, heavy commercial driving is not easy for everyone. Some people see the money and they want to jump in, but it's not for everyone because you're driving by yourself for almost 10, 12 hours. But there are also some compliances that you have to follow, and there are also some restrictions to what you can do when you're driving. There is a pathway that we can use to bring drivers from abroad, even from Kenya, to come and drive for us. But it will involve some legal help from lawyers, some filings, and some fees to be paid. And the problem is the scares people from doing that. I can bring someone to come and work for me, but they can walk away anytime they want. So
Then again, it spoils your record.
it spoils my record, but also I've spent my money and time bringing someone that I'm not sure that will stay with me.
Despite the challenges, Butler's star continues to shine. This good fortune is what inspires him to give back to the society.
I'm trying to work to live both worlds, because I come from Kakamega and we have people who are still struggling. So I've been using some of my profits here to buy and support people back home. We have through our church back home, we have 3 orphanage schools that we support children from poor families. We are supporting them by not only sending money, but also sending electronics. So we are trying to start exporting electronics, mostly computers. We are going to sell some of them, and we're going to help some of the schools that need by opening up computer labs.
The journey has indeed been long for this son of Kakamega County, and as he continues to drive into the future, he shares what life in the US has taught him on our Diaspora Byte segment.
Diaspora Byte, brought to you by TapTapSend. Send money to Kenya from the diaspora by simply downloading the TapTapSend app today to get started.
It takes discipline. You have to be disciplined and you have to work hard, because like any other business, you have to know how much money you're making, how much money you're spending. And the key is always try to make more money than you're spending. Yeah, you have to be able to take care of your drivers, take care of the trucks, take care of the trailers, and make sure that the customers are satisfied.
Diaspora Byte, brought to you by TapTapSend. Send money to Kenya from the diaspora by simply downloading the TapTapSend app today to get started. Download and use the code Chams Media and instantly get a cash bonus on your first transfer.
Quite thrilling from the former sportsman, and it seems whether in business or in sports, Butler's eye is always on his goal. Time for us to go for a break, but when we return,
I can transfer money to Kenya and I can transfer money back from Kenya to the US seamlessly. They also have investment tools that you can use for loans.
more on Butler as he shares the investments that he's doing back home through Cooperative Bank. Also on the show, why KQ is increasing the frequency of its flights on the Nairobi-New York route.
Greetings and welcome to AMG Waters Limited. My name is Martin Gethenji. I'm in charge of sales at AMG Waters Limited. I'm in one of our primest locations, only 30 minutes from Nairobi CBD, only 10 minutes to Thika Town, which means it's one of the favorite and best places for residential development. And that's a reason we've been able to sell out Juja Phase 1 all the way to Juja Phase 4. Where I am at right now, it's 60% sold at Juja Prime Phase 5. So become part of Juja Prime Phase 5 and part of this growing neighborhood by calling us today and be a smart investor.
You're watching Daring Abroad, brought to you in partnership with Corp Bank Diaspora Banking. Banking just like home.
It's about 5 years since Kenya Airways launched direct flights between Nairobi and New York. The national carrier is the only airline that has non-stop flights between Nairobi and John F. Kennedy International Airport. On the controls of this Dreamliner on a recent flight from New York to Nairobi was Captain Eric Njuguna and First Officer Bob Otiende. 14 hours non-stop.
The route is doing pretty well. I'd like to encourage all the passengers who have not flown with us to join us on this flight and test us. For those of you that have been loyal to us, we thank you again and keep being with us. I've been with the airline now for 26 years, now approaching to 27 years. Flown various aircrafts, starting from the Fokker 50. And for that, I would also encourage our juniors, if you'd like to join us, this is a good career.
We do have now an enhanced service. We've recovered pretty well since post-COVID period. We are now flying daily for the summer season all the way to September. And then we'll go down a bit in October, November, and then back to daily in December. And then we open the year next year, January, with daily flights. So we have really enhanced our service into the States, and we want to continue building more and more upon that.
The US remains Kenya's biggest source market of international tourists, and as the peak season sets in, the national carrier is bracing itself for a busy period.
Another 30 to 40% of these passengers actually are going beyond Nairobi. So what we are doing is actually connecting New York to the rest of Africa. We have major cities that we serve, like South Africa, Ghana in West Africa, and obviously the whole of East African region is a very important market for us.
Definitely go. It's only 15 hours too, which is like not bad.
During the recent open day at the Kenya Embassy in Washington, D.C., we met enthusiastic potential Kenya Airways customers. Have you ever been to Kenya, no?
No, but I would like to.
You'd like to?
Yeah.
Okay.
Go through Kenya Airways.
You will come through Kenya Airways?
I have to.
Wow, fantastic. Kenya Airways is a great airline. What have you heard about it?
I heard that it's not too bad. It's about a 14-hour flight from America to Kenya. So I'm excited.
It's exciting developments. We have new partners in place. We now have JetBlue in addition to Delta and American Airlines. That has enhanced the scope of our distribution. We are now able to access more cities within the US, and our customers do have more opportunities to access the wider US point.
The good news is that you can now fly to other cities in the US through Kenya Airways code-share arrangement with its American partners. You can similarly fly into New York from other cities in the US through the airline's partners.
We do have a code-share with Delta, and we are still talking to them to get additional points from the existing 22 points that we currently have. And then we have an interline agreement with American Airlines that covers the whole country, and we have recently introduced JetBlue Airways as an additional interline partner that also gives us access to the whole of the US, Canada, and the Caribbean. Major cities like Atlanta, you can go to Canada, but also interesting points like the Caribbean. For instance, you can now access Barbados with JetBlue Airways and Kenya Airways through our New York service.
But there are those who want Kenya Airways to introduce more direct flights to other cities in the US. Trufena Choti, a Kenyan who is engaged in community work in Baltimore and Washington, D.C., wants Kenya Airways to consider Washington, D.C.
If KQ could do a code share with the airlines that operate from the airports in Washington, D.C., get the airline, get somebody into JFK, and the layover should not be more than 3 hours, or even 3 hours is fine, then somebody gets into Nairobi, many people will take that.
New York was Kenya Airways' preferred destination, partly because of its strategic location.
New York is an important city for us from a business perspective. It's the headquarters of the UN General Assembly. We also have a big community of Kenyans based here in New York, and obviously that does work very well for us with the non-stop service.
Normally I fly Kenya Airways, and the reason is direct flight home. I take one flight from New York and I'm in Nairobi the following day. You save time, you avoid passing through Europe, which is a big connection. They fly one of the best airline. I don't know whether people are aware of this. They fly Dreamliners, and Dreamliners specialization is very good. So you have less actually jet lag when you fly KQ. It's proud of Kenya people. We should also sell our own. We should also, even encourage our government officials, so they fly to America, they should fly Kenya Airways. They should fly our flag, like other government officials to do that.
Cargo is doing extremely well. We now are working with, for instance, the US State Department, who also appreciate the directness of the service. We are working with a lot of traders, especially in Kenya, to bring in their goods. So we are promoting trade between East Africa and Africa in general to access the market, especially here in New York.
Kenya Airways plays a very important role, especially for fruits and vegetables, and also in terms of bringing in the light products that can be carried through the aircraft, especially the perishable products. And it also plays a role in tourism, in promoting our tourism, taking visitors back at home, and also to various destinations that they pass through JKIA.
How inspiring from our national carrier. Time now for a back home segment, and today our main guest, Butler Omucheyi, shares with us how he's investing back home through Cooperative Bank.
Back home, powered by Cooperative Bank.
So the Coop Bank, they have some good tools that I use. One is for the money transfer. I can transfer money to Kenya, and I can transfer money back from Kenya to the US seamlessly, and they don't have any fees. So I use that money to invest here, and then when I have work to do in Kenya, I can transfer money there and back and forth. They also have investment tools that you can use for loans, for financing, even for commercial or residential purchases and construction. So they have the mobile banking that I use. I can see all my transactions on real time. Even on a weekend, I can transfer money to my Coop account on a Saturday, and I will see it there. I use the online banking to transfer money from my Citibank account to my Kenya Cooperative Diaspora account and vice versa. So, and I can also use it, my Coop account, to send money to somebody through M-Pesa or to my own account. So I can use the online banking and or the app to send money to my family members, to my employees back home, or if my own account for savings, or if someone calls me for any emergency, anytime, I can go to my online banking for the Co-op account and send that money to that person anytime. Right now, they have a 24/7 customer service. I can either call them through, I can even call them through WhatsApp anytime, 24/7. I can text them on WhatsApp. I can call them on WhatsApp. So I can email them, but the best, quickest response is just WhatsApp. Everybody has WhatsApp. And most of the issues that I can have can be resolved, even though I haven't had any issues so far. But they have that option.
Cooperative Bank. We are you.
Great. How amazing. Clearly, Butler is doing a lot back home, and there's a lot that you can do even from the diaspora thanks to technology. That story brings us to the end of the show today. On behalf of the crew responsible for this production, we say thank you so much and see you next time.
Daring Abroad, brought to you in partnership with Coop Bank Diaspora Banking. Banking just like home.